Alrighty then. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk. Pistons, more Pistons, man, and really, I feel like with the new additions, and I don't know if Monk joined the team by the time you've seen this video. With the new additions for the Pistons, I think the biggest jump for the Pistons is going to be the jumps that the young guys made. Now, I think, and it was important, Hardaway, Tobias, Beasley, they were very important to the Pistons' success. And obviously, you can integrate, the Michigan guys, Karras and Duncan Robinson, possibly Malik Monk or somebody else. So yeah, you can integrate them and they can fuck it up. So I'm gonna put that disclaimer out right now. They can mess it up, but I think the Pistons' sole jump in the East is gonna be determined. In my opinion, it's going to be determined by Sasser, Duran, Cade, Ivy, Asar, and Ron Hollins. And maybe the Bobby Killerman guy. I don't know much about him, but the young guys, they still are going to be the reason why the Pistons take the jump in the right direction or another jump. And you look at the East, really, I think a lot of people like what Atlanta did, even more than Orlando. I think a lot of people look at Cleveland, they can't win with that brand of basketball. They'll be there and win games, but I think people looking at Orlando, I think people looking at Atlanta, getting Mike Brown, I feel like didn't scare anybody with the Knicks. They still be a great defensive team, but ultimately, offensively, they sucked. And that was another thing. So I think the Pistons are right. Come on now, Becky. What the fuck is you doing? Jesus Christ, man. I think people need to have new student driver on the back of their bumpers. I think most people need to have that on the back of their bumpers. She's sitting there looking, there's nobody coming, you can make a right turn. I'm like, oh God. It's the dumbest look ever. But yeah, I think ultimately, and obviously for different reasons. I feel like, Sasser, they got to trust him with the basketball. Hollins, it's about hitting that corner three and learning to create offense. And I think he can score. You know what I'm saying? We seen in the G League. He slashed into the rim, getting the bucket. But I think for him, is starting to, shoot that jump shot. And then, in between game, a little pull up, 10 to 15 footer, pow, that's it. Who else we got? And then we talk about Sar Thompson. Basically just shoot it. Can you shoot it? And then, Duran, can you continue to take the step up with consistency defensively and then learn to post up a little bit? And, so really that's going to be their, that's going to be ultimately how they take step. And obviously with Cade Cunningham, taking the next step and building on his game physically and taking care of the ball a little bit more. And, that's about it, being a little bit more efficient shooting the ball. But that's really what's going to determine his MVP level is the people around him. And the new guys that they bring in where they continue to be selfless and fit in, I think that's the only thing that can knock them off in injuries. So if you tell me they're going to fit in and add to the pot, in a positive way, really it's about the young guys taking the next step. And if Ron and Asar Thompson start shooting the ball, and I think you probably can pencil them in to have an excellent season next year and they can stay healthy. I think that's about it. They start shooting the ball, it's over with. If I can't sag off of them, if I got to play them for the shot, then they can drive the ball, and it's going to be quite spooky. It's going to be quite spooky. So ultimately, they pretty much, even though they did more important additions than the Lions did this season, but ultimately the Lions and the Pistons in the same boat. And the boat that they in ultimately is they seasons are going to hinge on the jump that they young players make. That's even in layman's or the most complicated terms, that's what it is. That's what it is. In a layman's and the most complicated words, that's what it is. Their season is going to be hinged, both teams, on what their young guys do. What their young guys do. So if their young guys come in and they ball out and they improve, then they're gonna have both have great seasons. So yeah, I feel like that's what it is, man. In my humble opinion, I literally look forward to the season, but as long as those other guys don't come in and mess up the camaraderie that they have, they should be fine and dandy, honestly. But them young guys got to shoot the ball, they got to work on their games, work on their bodies, and I feel like really the power forward spot is up for grabs between Bobby and Ron Hollins. I feel that way. If Ron can hit that corner three and get a little bit stronger, that's his to have. That's his to have. All you gotta do is hit that corner three and defend. Now I don't think people know how good that guy, that boy is. That boy is phenomenal. So that's about it for him. And Asar Thompson ain't nothing to do it but to get a floater and get a jumper. That's it. If he can get a floater and a jumper going, it's a wrap. They got to play their three, and then he can learn to escape dribble 10 to 15 foot pop and then get a floater. He's going to be hard to stop. So, got to give Troy Weaver his flowers because he did a great job. I mean, I'm forgetting Killian Hayes was horrible. I don't know what the fuck he was thinking there. But I was the only one saying they should draft Asar Thompson. I liked him. The kid out of UCF, I don't know what happened with him. He got drafted by Toronto. I liked him a lot too. I think in that draft, Tari Eason was another guy I liked. He was the reason why Sharif O'Neal, Shaq left LSU. But I really, really liked Asar Thompson. I was in the minority. People fought me on it. They said he played in overtime elite. Look here, man. If you can play, you can play. When I seen from him and his brother, I said, He said, hey, you can play. And, I got to my own horn. I was right. But hey, check out Detroit Pistons Talk playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit the link in the description. Follow me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Peace.